Now it's your boy Showtime Eyes 9 back here. Look, this is really exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, K Flock is not looking too hot. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what the lawyer's gonna have to say. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll give you the rest of my input on it.
Flock, he is a young rapper from the Bronx who's been in jail for over 6 months on a murder charge. The case has been moving slowly, entirely due to the amount of discovery. That means the evidence, potential evidence, anything that the government, that the state is doing to investigate the crime, but they have to turn that stuff over. That's what discovery is. And it's a simple case on paper. There was a shooting in broad daylight in Upper Manhattan. K Flock, his real name is Kevin Perez, is accused of shooting somebody. And according to the evidence, the victim had a loaded gun in his pocket with his hand in his pocket, presumably on the gun. I mean, the gun was in there, and was charging towards who the state claims was K Flock when he was shot himself, the victim. But there's a ton of discovery being provided as to what occurred in the days before and even after the shooting, because a police investigation doesn't always just investigate the crime itself, but what caused it, especially in a case which so clearly the shooting is, according to the state, is a product of self-defense by the defendant, who they claim the shooter is.
So, the victim that was shot in the K Flock murder case had a gun on him. Now, in New York, we all know that there is no self-defense, right? So this is gonna fall back. This is not gonna fall. It's not gonna be the worst, but he still may be serving a life sentence. He is going to do some time now because it is a murder. Regardless of what you guys think, he's not coming home. He's not coming home anytime soon. It's literally impossible. You got to stay positive, but it's literally impossible for him to come home because he's fighting a self-defense charge in New York. But they're charging him for murder because there is no self-defense in New York. So let's get back to the second clip.
Plenty of witnesses are spoken to by the police. People who allegedly spoke to K Flock and who could testify in the case against them. All these people were interviewed, dozens. People who were present during the shooting, friends of the armed victim. Sometimes these people have criminal records. We don't know who or who is not going to be an actual witness in the case. But what's become clear in the last couple of court appearances is that the state doesn't want to turn over the names of these people, or even let us see their faces in videos if they were captured at the scene. Faces are blacked out, or the big block redacted. The armed victim was shot. There are people that saw it. We're not allowed to even find out their names or see what they look like. So how do you defend a case like this, you're asking? The state gets to speak to all the witnesses about who they claim what they saw. They're allowed to speak. What did you see? What did you see? What did you see? And then they decide who to put on the stand. The defense gets no opportunity to investigate the case. We can't speak to these witnesses. They're not going to speak to us. We don't even know who they are. So we just show up at trial and start examining witnesses after the state has spent hours and hours prepping them for their testimony. We can't look into their past, the witnesses, because we don't know their names. We can't even identify them. How can we tell if they're lying on the stand if we know nothing about their lives, their histories? We have to rely on the state to give us helpful information when we know full well that's counterintuitive to their desire to win a trial. And I want to make clear, I'm not suggesting for a second that the prosecutor in this case is dishonest, because he's not. I mean, he's actually a wonderful prosecutor. He's very fair, and he's handled the case, I think, really impeccably. He's been very decent. But the history of prosecutorial fairness when it comes to disclosing helpful evidence to the defense in New York has not exactly been great recently in federal and state courts. Not of late. Now, the law does allow the state to ask a court for a protective order to prevent the information, the evidence, from going to the defense if there's a, quote, risk of intimidation, harassment, unjustified annoyance, or embarrassment to any individual. That's the law. But the law also embodies, quote, I'm quoting, a presumption of openness, as well as a presumption in favor of disclosure to the defense. There can be a middle ground too, which could delay the disclosure of discoverable materials or restrict disclosure to defense counsel only. I would agree to that. Just give it to us. We don't have to show it to the client or anyone else. Just give it to the lawyers so we can actually investigate the case ourselves. So they're making a motion for this protective order, and it will be filed shortly, and I will vigorously oppose it because we actually want to win the case. We're not here just to get our asses kicked. I'm not sure what the basis will be to claim that witnesses or anyone that was even spoken to during the investigation are at risk or going to be intimidated or annoyed. Kay Flock has been in jail for months and can't do a thing. What people say and do on the internet, it's not our responsibility, and it's not like anyone even knows who these witnesses are anyway. We're not going to hand them out to the public. We just want fairness. That's all. You got a 19-year-old kid here. He turned 19 in jail in April. His life is at stake. He faces potentially the rest of his life in jail, and all we want is a fair trial. That's it. Just a fair trial. Nothing more, nothing less. And I've gotten to know him, his mother, his management. These are real people who care about him, who genuinely care about him. And Kevin, Kay Flock, is a quiet kid, believe it or not. He's a gentle kid, believe it or not. I know you're saying, well, come on, you're a defense lawyer and he's charged with a serious crime. But listen, I see how he is since I've met him. This is a polite, decent kid. To me, he's not some crazy lunatic. I think he's innocent, and we're going to take it to trial and we're going to prove it. And anything they can do to try to stop us from getting evidence, well, we're going to fight it to the end.
As you can see, the lawyer is showing that the state isn't allowing Kay Flock to fight for his case. This case is not fair. They're only going it towards the prosecutor's way, right? So Kay Flock, it's not looking too hot right now. It's really not. And all we got to do is just stay positive, pray for Kay Flock, to get his freedom. He's fighting for his freedom. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens, man. You can't. This is exactly what happens. We promote this culture of rap, and now all of our kids is gonna grow up to be shoot 'em up. You know what I'm saying? We promote this. This is what we promote. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what they want us to do. You know what I'm saying? Kay Flock, I know that you're young. You're a young man, bro. You're a young man. And everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that occurrence was just supposed to happen, You probably would have got, murdered or something. It's okay. Stay positive. Stay positive in the system. The system isn't created to develop you. It's created to destroy you. We want to be killers. We want to be murderers. We want to be bank robbers. This is what we want to. This is what we idolize when we were young. Why? Just so we can be in the hands of the white man again? Just to be in the hands of the people that don't want to see us win, that want to see us fall? Now, Kay Flock, man, stay positive. There's a way, man. Just keep your head up, man. I know it's hard. It's very hard, man. I already know, man. It's your boy. Hope you guys loved the video. New details. Type in the comment section what you guys think. Like the video. Subscribe. It's your boy. And I'm out.
She ain't a hoe, she a bust down.